The Biden administration is secretly flying illegal aliens caught at our southern border all across the country, fanning out every night to American communities, completely oblivious. But here is DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas denying all of this when grilled on Capitol Hill earlier this week.
They are transported from a Border Patrol facility to an ICE detention facility. They are transported.
But they're also being flown into places like Iowa.
If I may, Congresswoman, they are also flown to their countries of origin when they have been removed and their claims for relief have failed.
Well, we know that's not the case. He's either lying or is willfully ignorant. Joining me now is our panel, Christopher Olivarez, Lieutenant in the Texas Highway Patrol, and Rob Astorino, former Westchester County executive and Republican New York gubernatorial candidate. Rob, I'd like to start with you on this one. I want you to go first. You were one of the first people in the country to blow the lid on these secret migrant flights into Westchester Airport here in New York. You're even accusing New York Governor Kathy Hochul of breaking state law by keeping all of this under wraps. What is your response to Mayorkas there?
I mean, I'm flabbergasted. Did he take the oath? Because if they did, they should go after him. This is a complete and utter lie if he's saying that these flights are not bringing migrants to New York and to other regional airports. It's the Biden Express, straight from El Paso through Jacksonville into Westchester and other airports. And they're coming off the planes, they're going on buses, and then they're scattering. They're going to places like the New Jersey Turnpike rest stops, New York Thruway rest stops. They're going to places within New York City, Long Island, Westchester. And look, most of these or some of these are kids, but they're also older kids. They're 16, 17, 18, maybe older. We don't know because we're not getting any information. And Hochul here in New York, there's a 1951 law that says all aliens, registration of aliens coming into New York State must register with the state. So she's willfully ignoring this. She has every right to ask questions, and she should, and make sure she knows who's on that manifest of each flight so we can keep track of everyone coming into our state. They're here illegally to begin with.
Lieutenant Olivarez, I'd like to get your thoughts on this. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas also claimed this week that illegal aliens are being processed and removed from the country. Watch.
Individuals who cross our border are placed in immigration enforcement proceedings. They make claims for relief under our law. If they do so and those claims succeed, then they have established a legal basis to remain. If those claims do not succeed, then they are expeditiously removed from our country.
Lieutenant, your thoughts?
Well, Mike, that's not the case because the numbers show that. We could talk about last year, 2021, we saw record numbers. There was 1.7 million encounters along the southwest border, nearly 400,000 gotaways. Now we're in fiscal year 22. The first 6 months in fiscal year 22, we're at 1 million. Well, actually, I'm sorry, 1.2 million encounters, over 300,000 known gotaways, plus suspected terrorists. So again, the vast majority are being released to the country. And to Rob's point, the state of Texas is not only affecting the state of Texas. Every state is a border state. And you're seeing what's playing out there in New York with these secret flights, these buses that are they're transporting these illegal immigrants to other states within the United States. So it affects every single person. And these immigrants are not only staying in Texas, also the drugs, the criminals that are coming across, they're not staying in Texas. Fentanyl right now is the #1 killer for ages 18 to 45. So now we have a fentanyl crisis on our hands because of this open border policy.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I don't think that's publicized enough. #1 killer, kids 18 to 45 is fentanyl. Rob, got to get you in on this. Mayorkas was also asked the cost of not building former President Trump's border wall. Here's what he had to say about that.
The wall projects, the majority of them rest in the jurisdiction of the Army Corps of Engineers. Those that we ourselves control, I believe that the cost of discontinuing them is approximately $72 million.
Rob, your response?
He's like Pontius Pilate. You know, it's nothing to do with him. Wash his hands of this. You know, as Lieutenant Olivarez said, we're all a border state right now. I know we're a border state, but I thought it was with Canada. I didn't know it was also with Mexico here in New York. But apparently, because of these flights and the disbursement of those who are here illegally into every community, we're all dealing with this problem. Maybe not as acute as they are in the Texas border, but clearly our communities also are burdening with this because We've got our hospitals, our schools, our all the issues that we have to deal with as community members, citizens. We have to deal with even at a greater number with those who aren't supposed to be here. And the basic questions that we're asking our federal government, none of which are being answered. I wrote a letter February 1st to President Biden, still waiting for a response and still waiting for Governor Hochul to do something other than turn the other way.
Lieutenant, your thoughts, is every state in America a border state?
It is, unfortunately. It never used to be this way. I've been in law enforcement 20 plus years. I've worked along the border my entire career at different capacities. I've seen the different administrations, different governors, and what we're seeing right now, what we saw last year, 2021, is something I've never seen in my entire career as law enforcement. I'm in the ground. I'm on the field speaking to agents, our state troopers, and right now, what they're seeing right now is just overwhelming. The sheer number of illegal immigrants coming across, and not only that, Mike, but also those gotaways. That's why Governor Abbott launched Operation Lone Star, a state border comprehensive plan to crack down on these organizations. It shouldn't fall on the states to secure the border. It's a responsibility of the federal government. And also, in addition to that, that's why Governor Abbott constructed the first ever Texas border wall, because Texas wall were completely canceled. The contracts were completely canceled. So a barrier, a wall is essential to border security. It's vital to border security. It helps our law enforcement partners. It helps us combat these organizations to stop the flow of drugs that are flowing into the state of Texas and further into the interior, where it affects states like New York and other states in the United States, where you see thousands of Americans that are being killed by this lethal drug fentanyl, and also these criminals that are making it into the interior.
Yeah, and millions more Americans very frustrated about this situation altogether. Lieutenant Christopher Olivarez, Rob Astorino, thank you so much. Appreciate your time tonight.